Good morning, YouTube fans. Here we are again, another episode of Gardening with Vincenzo. And we're in Vincenzo's kitchen. And today we have a real treat for you. What we're going to do here is we're going to do our fabulous blueberry cheesecake. And as soon as I get up here and put the camera on the tripod, we'll get right to it. I'll try not to put my thumb in the frame again here. Let's see where we go. We've got all of our equipment out here today. Even got our spring-fed pan so we can make the crust. And without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to get right to it. All right, first off, this is going to be my water bath pan. And I have a nice trivet here to set my springform pan, which I've lined with parchment paper for easy removal. We'll spray that with some coconut oil right before we put our crust in. First thing we're going to do is make our crust. Now I have 1 1/3 cups of coconut flour. I have a teaspoon of cinnamon in here. And I also have 2 heaping tablespoons of the Swerve, and it's confectioner's sugar because I want a little bit of a sweeter crust. And I'm going to try and turn this into a blue crust with some of the juice from the blueberry before I put it in the springform pan. And this is about an 8-inch pan. And what we're going to do now is we are going to add 1 whole stick of butter that's been melted and left to cool down a little bit. We're going to get him into the coconut flour. Let him get a little bit lumpy there, because I want him a little lumpy, because I want a little bit of a crispy kind of in between cake and pie crust here for this cheesecake. All right, we're going to pop 2 eggs in there. Chickens finally started laying some eggs again. I was down here doing them this morning, and I thought to myself, you guys did some eggs up. Good for you girls. I think I'm going to add 1 more egg. I thought I might need 3 for our crust. We want it a little bit on the dry side, but we don't want it so dry that we can't form it. All right, I think that's pretty good. Is that going to form? Yeah, that'll form. Okay, great. So here's what the consistency looks like. It's kind of like flaky. You want it a little bit flaky. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our spring-fed pan. We already have the oven on 350. And we're going to give our pan a good spray with our coconut oil. And we're going to come over here and we're going to take our crust mixture and we're going to dump about 3/4 of it in because I want a little bit left to do the sides if I have to. So we just push them down. Try to get the sides done first. I want it to come all the way up. And take your fingers around the base. Oh, avalanche. Around the base and bring them right up to the top of the side of the spring-fed pan. Now the cinnamon will add a nice little extra flavoring to the crust, which we're going to bake for about 10 minutes before we add our cheesecake mixture. Takes a little bit of work. It's easier if you wet your hands. Okay, now we've got the base all the way done up. Now we're going to take the rest of this and make the bottom. Our cream cheese has been setting out for a while so that it's a little on the soft side. I feel like I'm caulking. For those of you who don't know what caulking is, after you caulk something, you always end up running your fingers around it to smooth it out. For those that are multi-skilled, you can take a spoon and do this. It's sometimes a little more difficult to do the spoon than it is just with your fingers. I'm going to go around the edges, put them up against the side of the pan. Take my moistened fingers and finish it off. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Alright, there's what he looks like. Pretty decent. I could sprinkle a little cinnamon on there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pop him right in the oven. Taking note of the time, we're going to put him in there for about 10 minutes. Let's put my timer on. Let's see, do I have my specs with me? Timer, 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 come on. Where are you at? Kitchen timer, there we go. Let's go 10 minutes. Alright, now I'm going to use my mix master here, which I picked up at a flea market. It was brand spanking new in the box. And what we're going to do is we are going to melt another stick of butter. I don't have sour cream, so we're not going to do that. But I do have some softened 2 whole packs of cream cheese. And I'm going to add 2 eggs to that. And I'm going to pop them right in from the get. We're going to mix everything right up. So we've got 2 eggs. We're going to take a teaspoonful, well actually a couple caps full, of real vanilla extract, because we're keeping this gluten free. I haven't had cheesecake in forever. Let's do 2 caps. We'll do 1 more cap. We'll do 3 caps of the vanilla. So if you're keeping this gluten-free, you need real vanilla. Not the artificial or the imitation. And since we dropped our spoon in the avalanche, do one more minute on that butter. We'll get rid of him. Cinnamon's done. We did him in the crust. Get our pan in there. Well, yeah, we'll get our pan in there. And we've got our blueberries ready to rock and roll. That's about a cup of the blueberries. Alright, we're going to put our butter right in there with our cheesecake mixture. And let's pop him in over here. And now you get to hear my mix master. Want a nice smooth mixture. I haven't added my swerve yet. Don't forget about that crust in the oven. Forgive my back here. I just ran out of counter space. Just keep feeding it into the blades here. Gotta be careful when you're not using a spatula. Alright, now we're going to add 3 heaping teaspoons of the swerve. I like a nice sweet cheesecake. This is probably the equivalent of a cup with my heaping teaspoons. Again, I keep my swerve, my coconut flour, my xanthan gum, all in the refrigerator. Try to grab some of this up off the floor. Don't like making a mess. Try to keep the kitchen in tip-top. There we go. So we added our swerve. I'm going to try and get a little bit of this juice from the blueberries in here. Terrific. Terrific. And we're going to start this up again here. That's what I needed for the consistency. scraping the side of your bowl. Will take a couple minutes for this. In the meantime, don't forget that crust. You want a nice smooth consistency, but it doesn't have to look like pancake batter. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Let's bring him up here. Take him out of there. Let me get rid of these guys. There you go, that didn't work too bad at all. Alright, we're going to take a look at our crust right now because it's been 10 minutes. See what we look like. We're getting close. You can usually tell when these are done because you get to see the little bit of the crisp right around the brown, and you can feel the center. Now remember, we're going to cook this still yet, and remember also that it's hot. So I'm going to take one of my bowls, and give them a fast clean out here. In the meantime, your crust pan, the spring load pan, is cooling off because we don't want to put this in there as it's hot. I'm going to open up my bag of blueberries, get them ready. I have my kitchen shears here, but I'll just brute force it. Again, we've got about a cup of blueberries there. And now what I'm going to do is, if I can find my smasher, which I can't, then I'll use a fork. Alright, to these blueberries, which are already sweet, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the swerve. Because like I said, I haven't had anything sweet in forever. Literally. Here's a heaping teaspoon. That'll get rid of the tartness of the blueberries. Alright, I'm going to smash these guys up real fast with a fork. Incorporate that sugar in there. That'll give me some liquid. Plus it'll still give me, I could have done this in my chopper, but I really just don't have the counter space right at the moment. I would have definitely been better off doing these in the mini chopper. I do a lot of things by hand, even when I have the equipment to do otherwise. Alright, we'll call that for right now. Alright, now what I'm going to do is take our pan. He's still a little bit on the warm side, but that's okay. We've got our wonderful looking cheesecake batter. Let's throw him in there. You want them right up to the top and even a little bit higher.